9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, people? It's Thursday, so you know what time it is. We're back for another Prem panel show. Big up everyone who was waiting in the building already. Big up to everyone who's joining in. Before we get started, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Get it all done. And I got my boy with me, Breezy, who was kind enough to jump in last minute. What's going on, brother?
I'm all right, Drift, man. I'm okay. Glad to be here. And again, the reason why I'm wearing this hat, I don't know if anyone's been watching like that Netflix Viking thing. Oh, it's mad. It's absolutely. So obviously I'm kind of paying like homage to the Vikings, man. So hey.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna ask, but there you go. Big up to the rest of the panel. Unfortunately, because we had to push the show forward, which big up again, everybody. You remember we're going early today because of the games that'll be on later. They couldn't make it. We got the Lewis situation where he's going to be at the Chelsea game. He's not hiding, guys. We knew he was going to be away before this even happened, which is very, very unfortunate. And I tried to get a Chelsea panelist as well today because we will definitely be chopping up the Chelsea stuff at the midway of the show. We got one topic we're going to get into first, and then we'll jump into that. Cal will be joining us shortly. He's running late because of work, but don't worry, he will be here. And big up the rest of the panel, with it being an early start. George may be able to jump in. He's at a photo shoot today doing his vaulting and all that. Big up George on big things. But yeah, unfortunately, because of the early start, we couldn't have any of the panelists. But my boy Breezy jumped in. As I said, Cal will be joining us and possibly George. But we got to bring you the show in it. That guy's making meals now, I wish I'd have thought of that, bro.
How many times have I done this? Times.
Yeah, he's a G. He's an absolute G. I don't know how he turned something so simple into a business, but he's an absolute legend for that. But before we get into the Chelsea thing, as I said, I want to talk about the Champions League, brother. I want to talk about the Champions League. Let's be a little bit more lighthearted before we get into the not so lighthearted, because for some people, what's happening to Chelsea, they're enjoying it. Champions League, bro. Obviously, everyone knows how we feel about what we did with the Inter Milan game. We were through, thankfully. Best time to lose a game is if you can still qualify. So if we're going to lose one game, let that be the game. But then yesterday, we'll forget the Man City result because that was obvious. They were through anyway. That is what it is. That was a formality. PSG Real Madrid, brother.
Bro. Pochettino.
PSG.
Pochettino brought Spurs to PSG. Bottlers.
As Lewis said in the group, Paris Spurs, your man.
Wow.
No, Bob, talk to me, bro. Come on. Talk to me.
Though, you kind of think that Mbappe. Well, I think everyone knows that Mbappe is literally carrying this PSG team. Messi is not the same. Neymar doesn't really look that interested. So really, it was an audition for Mbappe to Real Madrid, Liverpool, anyone that can really afford it. But again, what a game! When Mbappe scored, I thought, okay, you know what, this game done. But I think a lot of people have spoken about Benzema. You know what? He's ageless right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he looks exactly the same as he did in his 20s. But like he's like the leader at Real Madrid. And and again, Real Madrid are not the force that they were a couple of seasons ago. But how PSG crumbled, it was, I wasn't shocked by it. But, it was just a manner of like a mad 10 minutes that literally proved to me that PSG is just a big casino and people go there for the money.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've got a little take that I want to bring to you. Everyone knows I love to do the little mad thing and get people rattled and that. This is what I do. I'm not taking away credit from Real Madrid because Real Madrid had to get the job done. So don't misconstrue what I'm about to say as any form of disrespect towards Real Madrid. I know we've got a couple of Madrid fans, big up Sammy and that in the building. I know they're going to think I'm being shady. I'm not. I genuinely believe that comeback is on PSG, not necessarily Real Madrid. And again, Real Madrid have to put the ball in the back of the net. Real Madrid have to play well in order to do what they did. But for me, that was all on PSG. I feel like that was a self-destruct rather than the opposition being brilliant. And here where I'm coming from. The first mistake is the most outrageous mistake from the goalkeeper. What he was doing, if that isn't complacency, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is. And then after that, you've got like a complete sixes and sevens from international top level footballers. We've got Marquinhos, we've got Mbappe, we've got Hakimi. We're talking about players who on paper as individuals would walk into a lot of other teams, especially Marquinhos and Hakimi. Everybody in world football would want those players if they became available. All of a sudden, they're looking like schoolboys. Bro, I'm not kidding when I say when you go and you manage your team on a weekend, your defenders would not be doing what was happening in that game yesterday for that 10, 15-minute spell. They were all over the place, bro. All over the place.
How can Real Madrid score within a couple of minutes from PSG's kick?
Well, and that was the point I was going to get to as well, bro. The third goal, Verratti at kickoff gave it to Real Madrid. Verratti is one of the best midfielders in world football, bro. From kickoff, he gave the ball to Real Madrid. And then Marquinhos squares the ball across the face of his goal instead of just putting it out for a corner and regrouping, and Benzema scores the goal. In my opinion, Real Madrid did bloody well, and Benzema is a GOAT. We all know that already. That isn't even in question. Even before this game, we knew Benzema was a GOAT. But they were the architect of their own downfall for me. And they handed Real Madrid the game on a platter. They literally handed the game to Real Madrid on a platter.
So literally, what you're saying is kind of nothing to do with ability. It really just comes down to mentality. And mentality,
100%.
Because,
Mark A saying Gay lost the ball. Bro, if you see the hospital ball that Verratti gave him, he was going to lose the ball. Like, Gay was literally surrounded by 3 Real Madrid players, and Verratti looked up and had all the options and then passed it to the player who was being what? You can't blame just a Gay for that. You can't.
You know what makes good teams great? Yeah, so like we're like talking prime Barcelona, even though I'm going to hate saying this, prime United, Man City, how Liverpool are playing now, is when you make a mistake, when like individuals make a mistake, it's a kind of collective team to like make sure that mistake doesn't happen again, and to kind of make sure that that particular player like realizes that they've made a mistake, and literally everyone, seamlessly without talking, just to make sure, look, like let's just make sure that hey, like, we're not going to make those silly mistakes again, and literally rile up the whole team. PSG in the final against Bayern, I believe that was their best chance. We've actually seen them bottling it in the French league, and I'm not putting shade on like the French league, but they should be winning it every single season. And now we've seen it, and again, let's be honest, it's not the greatest Real Madrid team.
It's not.
And, it just shows that, again, like Messi, an amazing player, but like the moment I saw him not even accelerating past Modric, I'm like, okay, you know what, the man's done. Come on, like I'm not saying Modric's slow, but boy, like, that's that's kind of something that I saw where I was thinking that, well, you know what, he's a GOAT, but like I don't think he's gonna be the like leader for like PSG. And again, you kind of look at the manager, like what is he like doing? Like what's the manager doing? What's Leonardo doing upstairs? Like, you know, what's the plan now? Because it's
go on.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying because you know, because again, like as you know, literally everyone's saying now that was an audition for Mbappe, and you know, Mbappe did nothing wrong. Like his that goal that he scored that was clearly offside, bro. That was vintage R9. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that goal was absolutely sensational. Oh my god, bro! The way he did the dummy, that was R9 dummy around the goalkeeper, bro. Oh my god,
listen, that was R9. So you know, but again, you know, you are kind of looking at Mbappe and thinking, you know what? I'm like looking around, and I'm not, you know, my like, you know, career right now is stalling. It's only you know at the kind of international stage where you know. My credibility is like kind of somewhat high, but literally at club level, it's just not working out for me. And you know, this is the stage that I think not think where Mbappe belongs. And you know, if it's not working for him at PSG, it's kind of time to go. And you know what? Let Neymar and Messi and you know whoever they whoever they kind of want to kind of keep there, let them stay there and literally collect whatever money, because again, they've like done whatever they have to do. And Mbappe has to move now. He has to move.
If there was any part of him that was thinking about you know, signing a new contract, not anymore. And this is a great point from Timmy. Big up with the first super chat of the evening. This happened to Carlo, happened to Tuchel, happened to Emery. Now it's happening to Poch. It's the way of PSG. I mean, if you try and put a team together with nothing but money in mind, because remember they're trying to play FIFA where only statistics matter. So how fast is your player? How hard is the player's shot? How good is his shooting accuracy and all that stuff? You made a great point when you was talking, bro. When I watched Modric burn out Messi and Neymar, and at no point in Modric's career has he ever been quicker than those two players. And he's 36 years old. And I watched him with the ball burn them both out. Not running, dribbling. Burn them both out. I realized at that moment, either their heart ain't in it or they aren't good enough anymore. Because your legs are gone if a 36-year-old Modric can burn past you while dribbling. Not just running in a sprint, dribbling past you. I thought, hey, what is going on?
You know what? Honestly, it comes down to desire. It doesn't matter what level that you play at. Like everyone's gonna make a mistake, and you know, now the elite athletes now like take their kind of mental state as serious as their physical state, and you know, and literally when like things are against you, yes, okay. The keeper made a horrendous mistake. But again, you know, he's kind of one of like the best keepers around. So, hey, you know what? It is what it is. Bro, people have to step up. You know what I'm saying? You know, yes, we can blame Poch. And, you know, I know people will say, well, you know what? Poch really didn't do nothing at Spurs. He spent bare money and now he's come to PSG. He looks out of his depth. Yeah, I get that. But when players cross that white line, when the referee blows his or her whistle, you know what? You are relying on those the big time players to literally grind out a result, because hey, you know what, PSG are now on like the back papers and literally they're in the media for all the wrong reasons, and you know, and I can guarantee we will be having this conversation again about PSG. So again, you know, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Ash, well, I'll get you a super chat, bro, because that was obviously a little bit of change of topic. So I'll get to that in a sec, bro. Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, let me put it to you like this, right? And I'm not even trying to squeeze him in. What's going on, Cal? Big up.
Evening.
What's going on, Cal?
I'm not even trying to squeeze him in because we're a Liverpool channel and we're all Liverpool fans here. Cal made a brilliant point that was tried to be rejected in the group, and we just had to throw some trophies and some shuffles in there just to show them that, is what it is. This is why when people have a go at me for defending Henderson, and Breezy, I know you're a big Henderson man as well.
I've been praising Henderson
never, ever, as a Liverpool fan ever again, underestimate the power of James Milner and Jordan Henderson in the Liverpool squad, whether they're on the pitch or not. Because when you don't have leaders, I've said this before and I will say it again, people don't do what they're meant to do. People's heads drop. People aren't concentrated. People are fucking around in training. People are not doing what's supposed to be done, even professionally. Let's keep it real. If Neymar picks up a Snickers and starts eating that Snickers before the match, there's not one person in that change room that's going to say, do you really think it's a good idea to be doing that, bro? What are you doing? If Flacco tried to pick up a Snickers, Milner or Henderson are going to take it out of his hand and say, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? If Messi goes and drinks a can of Coke in that PSG fizzy drink mess before the game, no one's, and I'm not saying these guys do that, I'm just giving examples. Nobody's going to say anything. They are allowed to do what they want. Not even Poch, the actual manager, can go and tell players at PSG what to do. I heard a rumor he isn't even allowed to keep any of them on the bench if they're fully fit.
Wow.
Leonardo has said we need all our assets on the field as often as possible. That could just be somebody making stuff up. But the point is, PSG are so much of a brand rather than, what they're meant to be. The chances are that could be a real thing that they're actually told. If Messi's more than 90% fit, if Neymar's more than that, if Mbappe, if any, put them on the pitch. We're a brand. It's just all about having the faces on the pitch for the sponsorship, for the cameras and all that. Nobody's listening to what they're told. You can just see it. So again, Jordan Henderson and James Milner and players of that ilk, especially our captain Hendo, please never again anybody tell me that I'm going over the top when I talk about how important it is that he is a great captain. Because you watched yesterday, because I tell you now, if you have a great captain in that team yesterday, that PSG team, it doesn't capitulate like that. It can happen. Don't get me wrong. It can happen, but not like that. Not schoolboy errors. Not everybody not even knowing what they're doing, where they are. Even if you have a huddle before the game restarts at 2-0, you know what I mean, where it's now 2-2 on aggregate, and you go, boys, get your head back in the game. We're letting them get away with this now. You watch what happened when Barcelona came to Anfield, which is the next part I was going to make. And I'm not shading Messi here whatsoever, but there's a common theme here. When your captain is your best player, he's not actually a captain. Roma, 4-1 away from home. Anfield, 4-0 away from home. Now, 3-0 in 10 minutes out. Messi's been a part of the biggest capitulations in Champions League history. There's only one or two others you can throw in there. There's only one or two others you can throw in there, I'm being real. Messi is meant to be leading and meant to be this big leader, and he's been captain in all these, and I'm not blaming him.
He wasn't captain last night.
No, but he's meant to be one of the figureheads, though. He's Messi, right? And he was captain of Barcelona in the Rome and the Liverpool defeats.
All right. I can only speak on the Liverpool one because I didn't watch the Roma game because we were playing at the same time. And yesterday's one I did watch, and he was poor in that game. The Liverpool game, I'll be honest, Messi was the only one who actually did anything in that game for Barcelona. Like he put shots on the plate for Coutinho, for Suarez, and for Jordi Alba, and they all fluffed their lines. And he he tried to score himself. I think for me, and the reason I put Hendo in the chat last night, Drift, is like it's clear as day. Like when any team can get beaten by a comeback, like any team in world football, it happens to every single team. Bloody happened to us against Bournemouth. But when it happened,
I'm not saying Messi wasn't good at Anfield, by the way, guys. I'm saying his leadership. There's a difference between being a good footballer, but actually knowing how to motivate, lead, galvanize, and get everybody's head back in the game. Because Barca's head was gone in that game.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying? But so that's all I meant on that. Not his ability, obviously, but yeah, sorry.
But like when it's happening to the team over and over and over again, but you look at their team and you think, player for player, they've got some of the best players in the world in their position. It's a mentality thing. It's no coincidence they've had Ancelotti, Thomas Tuchel. Now they got Poch. 3 of the best managers in world football. and none of them could get them over the line. They've just struggled because if you look at their players, Marquinhos, in my opinion, probably top 5 centre back in world football. Donnarumma.
We spoke on it. Yeah, that's what we were saying at the beginning. Yeah.
So I won't even go through it then. A lot of their players are top 5 in their position. But you look at their situation and it's just like, who's the leader on that pitch? As good as Verratti is as a footballer, is he a leader? Because I don't see any leadership.
How he gave the ball away from kickoff for the third goal that knocked them out, bro.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Marquinhos is the captain. I wouldn't call him a leader like that.
A captain doesn't put the ball across the face of the goal. He puts it out for a corner and shouts to everybody to get their head back in the game.
I guarantee you, Henderson on ability don't get into PSG's team. But you see, they had Henderson last night. They qualify for the next round.
Yeah, facts. I mean, just something about it now. So I'm gonna compare Liverpool to a Mercedes C-Class, and then I'm gonna compare PSG to a Ferrari. You don't see a lot of Ferraris out in the UK, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like nice to look at. They make a lot of sound. And it, but like if you're gonna go over like a speed bump, but you actually feel everything though. You know what I mean? Right. But
but you can't even go over the speed bump, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But like with a Mercedes, they are common cars. They are well engineered. They are cheap to run. If anything breaks down, you know where to go to get the parts because like the parts are reasonably priced. People come together and like they know how to put things together. And literally, that's what Liverpool, City do really well. PSG are like the Ferrari. Like it's nice to look at, but sometimes with not a lot of substance there. People like to get in it, but then realize, you know what, I'm too tall for it. There's no space in the back. My stocking in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
no, that's a great analogy, bro. That actually is. I like that. Like that. It's true. It's put together like a game of FIFA. PSG is put together. I mean, a lot of people looked at me sideways when I said what a shocking signing Ramos was. Javaki said he's free, bro. World-class rep. Ramos is done. He weren't even that great anyway. I don't even want to get into it with the Real Madrid fans. He weren't even that great anyway. I told you, when Ramos went there, he's just going to cause problems. And look what happened. He's not even playing. He's picking up a paycheck of like 300 grand a week. I think he's made 2 appearances or something like that. What was the point? It was PR. It was the biggest PR spin you've ever seen in your life. And that's all they are now. I mean, the fighting, which I wanted to talk about before we got onto afterwards. Now, apparently, Neymar actually grabbed Donnarumma by the throat. A big fight broke out in the changing room. Right. No, bro, apparently it really went down. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. This is why I have always said, one thing we cannot do at Liverpool is ever doubt when the owners say we don't think he had the right mentality. Because I tell you what, when you watch the way we celebrate and the love and the cohesiveness that we have and the camaraderie, and then you hear about stuff like that happening, you realize just how important characters over skill may actually be.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I mean, like if that's true, in a changing room, that's a closed environment. That's like where like everyone can say whatever they have to say. And like if like fingers have to be pointed, that's absolutely fine. That's what you have to do. Because I can imagine Henderson, Milner, like the great leaders that we know, they would like point fingers as well.
No. T, you say that they'll point fingers, but do you really think they will? Because I've got to be honest with you, bro. Maybe internally, I think maybe they might hold somebody accountable. But bro, in our changing room, I don't think they would. I've got a feeling if one of our midfielders gave the ball away and we lost the game, I don't think everyone's coming in that change room and blaming that player and making him feel shit about it.
Milner slapped Simicast in a pre-season game for giving the ball away, bro.
No, but that's different, bro. That was to wake him up. That was to wake him up, bro. I don't think he was going to... No, bro. I don't think he was going to the change room after a defeat and we all feel down and we know that guy already feels bad. And then blame him and make him feel like it's literally his fault. I don't believe our dressing room would do that.
Still open palmed him in the face, bro, in public.
You know, you remember back in the day when it was like the Sky Sports thing, and you could do like the player cam in it, and you could just follow one player.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for Liverpool, because I just follow Jordan Henderson because the man's cussing everyone. You know, man saying da da da. Because like, you know what I'm saying, because actually that's what you have to do as a leader. So if he's doing it on the pitch where there's millions of cameras around, where like people are there in plain sight, imagine what they say in the changing room.
But I disagree, Breezy, and here's the reason why. Because during the game, he's doing that to influence the player to try and affect the result while we still can. That's called being a leader, taking control. Once the game's over, I don't believe he will still hold that energy. I don't. I believe it'll be like, you know what? It's done now. We tried our hardest. I know no player went in that dressing room in the 2018 final and blamed Carriers. It was blatantly his fault. We all know it. There's no hiding from it. A fact is a fact. It was Carriers' fault. I know nobody went in that changing room and batted him up for those mistakes. I know they didn't. I can guarantee you nobody blamed Carriers for their mistakes, guys. It takes us... There has to be a level of responsibility as a human to not let another person know when there's nothing else that can be done about it. You're a piece of shit for what you just did. I think you only do that when there's no real, there's no cohesion or leadership within your team.
Well, what would you done if you're in the dressing room with Carriers after the game?
No, do you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't have batted him up. I wouldn't have gone in there and started to be like, you're so dead. No, I wouldn't have. And here's the thing. Even if I wanted to, guys, here's the thing. There's a lot of things I wanted to do when I was younger, but I knew my dad would bust my ass, so I didn't do it. So even if I wanted to bat up Carriers, knowing the way that Klopp, Hendo and everybody would have acted towards my behavior, I would have still refrained from it anyway, because I will understand my club has a real hierarchy and a real leadership, and it would have been out of pocket for me to do it. Do you get where I'm coming from? So even if I did want to go in there and be like, right, I'm just gonna
but there'll be plenty of indirect. There'll be plenty of indirect. It always happens. You know, when you walk in, you're like, oh, man, it's easy things. Kopish should have saved those. You might not say it to their face or anything like that, but you definitely go like, easy chances. We just giving them goals, this, that, and the other, and like that sort of stuff will definitely happen straight after the end of the game.
And again, this is the media circus around PSG. Like, okay, like whatever conversations that were had in the change room, why is it coming out? Like, that should be in-house. Again, it's, this media circus. It's this, hey, like people should feel sorry for us and, our like two biggest players are arguing. And so what? You've just been knocked out of the Champions League. You know what? Everyone should be regrouping. I'm not going to say they should say sorry because exactly what everyone's been like saying. Like it could happen to any team, but again, do I give an absolute damn if like certain elite players are arguing? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Like it's time to move on now and just concentrate on your league and domestic competitions now. It's done.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. I mean, as I said, I watched that game and I just thought, this is the reason why I adore Milner and Hendo and Virgil and real leaders we have in our team that would, not saying, as Cal said, it can happen to anybody, but it's the regularity with which it happens to PSG that makes it obvious that there's a problem. Do you know what I mean? Just before we move on, George, big up as well, boy. Love for jumping in and being, always. You know what I mean? Being in a rush to get back, man. Always appreciate it, bro. So before we just move on quickly, bro, the situation, I'll come to you, Cal. The situation with the PSG, just quickly, bro. How did you take it? What did you think of the game? I mean, can you believe Real Madrid did it? Like, how did you feel about it?
I think, you know what? Part of me thought PSG were just going to do it, like, just going to win. Because, like, it's... From what I saw in the first leg as well, I thought they had enough about them. I thought they had the minerals this time to maybe get through this match. But, boy, it was capitulation on a massive scale again. And like you said, this has happened every year. I feel like they just start, like... When things aren't going their way, there's just no control. They start flying in with tackles and just start being a bit reckless. Because this happened... Was it last year or the year before? Which was the year where they got like 2 red cards in a game, like Di Maria and whatever? They just went nuts after they kind of just lost their heads.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
That was City last season.
Last season.
Yeah,
it's just moments like that I feel like that's just sort of epitomized PSG over the last few years in the Champions League coming against big teams. I feel like it's too many egos for me. It's just like as soon as they've lost it, their heads are gone. they're completely gone. They're flying in tackles, they're getting red cards, or just not like really looking after the games that well. Do you know what I mean? So, in terms of that reason, I'm not surprised, but I still thought they were going to win yesterday before the game happened. But yeah, man, I think it's just Modric showing everyone why he should be in the Iniesta Xavi debates of top centre mids.
We won't do that today, boys, or we'll run out of time. I mean, just before I bring you in, Cal, I think what's brilliant about what you just said, George, is there was a moment when Kimpembe he was all doing a yellow for a really dumb tackle as it was. And then right on the edge of the box, I mean, you shouldn't be making a tackle anyway. He just literally just swipes the legs from under the Real Madrid. I think it was Benzema, and you're like,
Rodri.
Was it? Yeah, and you're like, bro, the ref has blinded you. That you're off. You should be off right now, and PSG should be down to 10 men. And you're giving away a free kick in such a dangerous position. It's like and that just shows you there's no accountability and there's no responsibility, because they know there's no one who's going to have them up. There's no one who's going to tell them off. There's no one who's going to hold them accountable for such a stupid decision.
Well, I don't know, but yeah, which is absolutely true, because we're like talking about international players that are hailed as superheroes, for the countries respectively, and in those situations, those players will not be doing exactly the same thing, because they'll have a different management structure and different people around them.
Yeah.
So again, it's like from the top down, there's something not right there, and like it's players that are unrecognizable when they put on the PSG shirt. Again, there's so many different elements to it. I think it'd be impossible just to break it down, because we'll be here all day.
Yeah, I mean, no, go on.
I was just going to say, I feel like there's sort of similarities to Man United in a sense of, or as in Man United, like right now, is the team around PSG. It all seems to be more about the brand of PSG rather than the actual team. Sort of how like Man United over the last decade or however long, it's all been about getting the shirt sales and getting this, that, then the other. I don't think they've necessarily built teams to actually work in cohesion with each other. I feel like they've just gone for opportunities like your Mbappe's and Neymar and Messi sort of situations where they just fully can capitalize on, we're PSG, we've got this sick brand with all our gear and this, Jordan collabs, this, and the other. Imagine slapping a Messi on the back of that, or a Neymar or Mbappe or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's just all more about a brand than actually getting a team together. In a way, sort of as well, how like Man City first started, it sort of was just buying these big names just because they know, all right, let's get big names at the club without actually really bringing a team together. That's what it feels like at PSG, which is probably why they can't get past a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I know it's probably going to be a seamless segue into like the next subject, but again, that's what Chelsea were doing when Abramovich came. Like they were kind of buying, Crespos and all of these players. Think, like these are superstars, but again, it kind of took them time to actually realize that they needed like the Frank Lampards, the kind of I'd say the unfashionable Makaleles of the world,
a real figurehead. It actually took because if we're being honest, Pete Jose was the definition of do what I say or else. Do you know what I mean? And he was the one who did get them, who got them sorted out. You're right. Under Ranieri, it was just a whole load of money, and it wasn't really working the way it should have. Although I still think they did it better than the way PSG are doing it.
Oh, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, Cal, you wanted to say something, Cal, before we go to the next topic.
Literally want to say two things. George already said one. Modric has got to be spoken about in the conversation with Iniesta and Xavi now. I'm not saying he's better, but the conversation has to be seriously taken into consideration now. And second of all, not doing it today, there has to be a conversation about Neymar and Mbappe.
Well, we definitely won't do either of those today, because that would just run for the rest of
hours.
Yeah, those are some great topics for when the season's over. We've got international break and we can chop up some of that. But let's get into some of these super chats quickly before we move on, because I know a lot of them were to do with the same topic.
Official AMD Speak says, Drifty to carry us after the final. You know you effed up, right? You know you done effed up, right? You know you're going out on loan, right? Trust me, it would have been a lot worse than that. Ash says, if you ain't seen it, go check it out. Virgin Ibu doing commentary on the 5-0 at Old Trafford. Virgin Ibu saying their security when Ronaldo kicked Curtis.
I gotta go make sure I watch that, definitely.
Alex George on the PSG thing says it reminds me of another time a goalkeeper effed up against Real Madrid. All right, George, that Arsenal shade coming in. All right, big man.
Come on.
Ash says that PSG locker is free for all you can imagine. It's just pure vibes, no discipline. TikToks and Instagram kings at zero discipline. Facts. And Samat's Legend says, George, would you swap Kane for Benzema? And Cal, would you swap Bobby? Who am I swapping Bobby for, guys?
For Benzema.
I mean, that's a no-brainer, that one, but no, not Kane. Kane, no way.
I don't swap.
Just quickly, MP Breezy, MP saying, is it the original Amazon Vikings that you've been watching?
You know what? It's the there's a show. It's a series on Netflix, man. You know, I'm kind of into like my Viking thing, and literally how like those Vikings like literally just don't. They show no mercy. Like, boy, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I'm just paying homage. I mean, I'm actually sweating buckets, but I'm paying homage.
I'm not gonna lie, it does look like it needs to be freezing cold to wear that hat. I'm not even gonna lie. And Musa FC, Cal, Mbappe, he's not top 10, no?
But honestly, based on yesterday, no. He scored a great. Hear me out.
His performance was amazing. It was
his first half performance was very good. But what did he do in the second half? Right.
I think he played quite well until the mistake. I think it was literally only after the mistake when the whole team, everybody just seemed a bit like, what's going on? But up until that, I think but look at the goal he scored, that was offside. But if it was one of the greatest goals we've ever seen, like in terms of like going around the goalie, and that was old school R9 stuff, bro.
But you know, I do agree in terms of what Carl's saying. But again, he was starved off the ball. Like, you know, I think PSG were just in shock. And you know, anything after, you know, everything that actually happened, it was all Mbappe. He, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like trying to do as much as he possibly could. But again, he's a very direct, very dynamic player that's not gonna have his back to goal. Like, he kind of needs to be in front. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're not feeding him the balls that he needs, then, you know, he's gonna be non-existent. But again, at least he turned up, not like Messi and Neymar.
But here's the thing I was going to say about Neymar, because I know Neymar didn't have a great game, so I'm not going to act like he did. But I do think that there was quite a few good things that Neymar did, where it's a lot more weird. He's the one being targeted over Verratti and Messi and players who I actually saw make mistakes. That's when I feel like it is easy to just jump on the Neymar thing of like, you're just looking for a reason. Neymar played the wonderful pass for the PSG goal. And if I'm being honest with you, Verratti and Messi, in my opinion, who were the other two world-class ballers in the attack, so to speak, were way worse than Neymar on the night to me. It's very weird that Neymar's the one everyone just went straight for. I don't know. I just found that a little bit agenda-driven, but you know what I mean? That's just, I don't want to get into all of that, but yeah.
Official MD says, bless up all. We are fortunate to have a mix of skill and leadership in our squad. Cohesiveness over ego and superstardom. Again, agree.
Yeah, definitely agree on that one.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not gonna get into why I don't have Mbappe in my top 10, but it's something I do. I stick with it. I do stick with it because when people say top 10, for me, top 10 is not just about attackers. When I say top 10 in the world, I'm looking at players in each position. Alisson. That's why it's a conversation for our whole show. And that's what I'm saying. The top 10.
Let's skip. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. That would be a really, really joke and interesting show for like an international break or something. Yeah. We'll definitely do that. But yeah, guys, let's get on to the topic that everybody went to talk about. I went to wait till we're all here for this one. And just to let everyone know, we're talking strictly football here. We know there is a massive amount of politics, real life situations, and all of that kind of stuff. That's way more important than the football. And there's a lot of truth to it. There's so much hypocrisy going on with the way others have been treated in comparison, etc., etc. But we're not going to go into all that because that is a deeper discussion. That's a much more of a varied kind of conversation. So we're just going to keep it to football today, guys. So, like, for everyone in the chat who's making great points that are about the political side, we're going to try and just keep this about football and about what's happening in a football sense. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, Chelsea, as it says in the title, they look like they could be
pound a dozen, pound a dozen. Get your Chelsea players. Pounds a dozen, pounds a dozen, pounds a dozen. Get your Chelsea players. Pounds a dozen, pounds a dozen.
For anyone who can't read this, due to the latest government announcement, this store, the club store, will be closed for today until further notice. Kind regards, Megastore management.
Get your Chelsea players.
I have no idea when that is going to be taken off. So, George, I'll start with you because I can actually see you smiling from the back of your head.
The reflection is beaming.
Yeah, I can from the back of your head, bro. If you turned around, I would still be able to see the smile, bro. But are we getting a bit carried away? Are we getting a bit carried away? Because from what we've seen, and let me read off the statement actually, just for anybody who doesn't know. Give me a second, actually. I'm going to read off the statement.
While you look for it, Drifter. R.I.P. to the club you used to see. Their days are over.
All right. So here, Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich has been sanctioned by the UK government as part of its response to the Russian invasion on Ukraine. He is one of 7 oligarchs that's been hit with this fresh sanction, and all of his assets have been frozen, and he has a travel ban.
Cold.
The list also includes a few other billionaires. I'm not going to name their names because I don't know who they are. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said there can be no safe havens for those who have supported this invasion. Chelsea FC cannot, at this current time, sell any more tickets for games. Their merchandise shop will be closed until further notice, and they will be unable to buy or sell any players in the transfer market. The government said it will issue a special license to allow fixtures to be fulfilled, staff to be paid, and existing ticket holders to attend the games. So that's basically anything that's already been paid for or anything that's happened. And these ministers that have done this sanction, they came under pressure, due to the build-up of what's been going on and everything that's been happening. And it ends here. But the BBC understands that the government would allow, or they would consider allowing, Mr. Abramovich to apply for a special license that will allow him to sell the club, providing he can prove absolute no benefit of the sale will go to him. And it just goes on to say, like, his worth, which is 9.4 billion, and then a few other things about him. Chelsea reassurances from this sanction. While the sanctions against him throw Chelsea's future into doubt, ministers sought to reassure the club it would not be unnecessarily harmed. I know this brings some uncertainty, but the government will work with the league and the club to keep the football being played while ensuring sanctions hit those it's intended to hit. Now, there's quite a bit more that I could go on to, but I won't, because I think that's enough information we need to know to have the discussion that we're going to have. So, guys,
read the commentary.
It's the Lampard curse. All the clubs he's managed are in turmoil. Chelsea, Derby and Everton.
Point deductions FC.
Now, I've got an opinion on this, but I want to get you lots of opinions before I jump into this. So, George, as I said, I'll start with you first, bro.
Okay.
Are we getting carried away and hoping this is the end of Chelsea? Or is this just something that's being done because it's protocol, it was forced upon them, but nothing really is actually going to happen? Because remember, at the time, this is happening. There's no transfer window open at the moment anyway.
I think it's good to make fun of it for now.
Yeah, so I was going to say, is it one of them ones where you believe we should just live in a moment and it probably won't actually hurt them? Or do you think this could actually truly hurt them?
It has the potential, but I read that they're effectively reviewing it in May, come the end of the season, which might mean that as much as everything's frozen for now, they might be able to sell it at the end of the season, which then obviously means they can give the new contracts, they can sign new players, and they can kind of just carry on as normal. But either way, it looks like that Abramovich has to go regardless, and he's going to want to get it done as quick as possible, which means whoever comes in next, he's not going to take his time thinking, okay, I'm going to choose the best possible person to take over Chelsea after me. He's just going to go, who's going to get the money in quick? And that will hurt Chelsea a lot because now they can't operate the way they do. I did also see a thing today that they've been operating at huge losses when you take away the transfers that they've made. So just as the club has run from all the other matters, it's just huge losses, like the biggest of any club in the last decade. So that's all going to change, which means they can't necessarily just be willy-nilly with everything they spend and how they operate, especially with managers and stuff as well. So I do think they're going to get hurt badly, but I don't think it's quite going to be like as the level that we're all talking about. Like, I don't think they're going to be like relegated and then never all that sort of stuff. I think there will be a solution for them, but it's not looking pretty either way.
Well, to touch on what you said, bro, because that's the other point that I think needs to be made. There's a worst case scenario and there's a good scenario for them. And the good scenario is what you just said, where they would just be allowed in May when it's assessed to sell it, as long as there's no profits and that kind of thing. So you're right. And I personally believe that is what's going to happen. I think it's only going to be fun to laugh at Chelsea for a couple of months. And then I genuinely think they'll be all right. But the other thing that could happen is Abramovich could either dig his heels in, which I don't think he will do. That's why I don't think this will happen. And if that does happen, they will go into administration where the government then take control of the club. They'll be deducted 9 points from the beginning of next season. And it will basically be a raffle to the highest seller. And anybody could end up in control of Chelsea. Absolutely anybody could end up in control of them. And if that happens, that is when I do believe that Chelsea could officially beat in the mud. But I think the way it is, if Roman knows he's not going to make any money from this, whichever way, his love for the club, I think he'll just go, all right, like, cool. And he'll just let the situation be, whoever can buy it, money will go to the charity, etc., etc. So
I honestly, though, I do think it's having a huge impact straight away, though, because I don't know if it's, I haven't had a chance to verify it because obviously I was at work and stuff, but obviously I've seen the things that 3 have completely ended their partnership with Chelsea and they have to not wear them on any shirts immediately, which would be good to see if anyone can check, because obviously they're playing in half an hour. A verified journalist said that the kitsman had to go to Sports Direct to get 20 blue tops, like blue kits, because they they've already travelled. They've travelled with the kits and they can't have the 3 on it. So it'd be interesting to see if they're going to be playing in some Sports Direct kits today, which would be mad. But obviously, they'll lose the money on that. They've also already had reports of people being sacked and people being laid off, which whilst a lot of people may be protected, a lot of layoffs are going to happen. So I think there's going to be some huge ramifications from this.
You know how we all like to banter Chelsea, and the Liverpool-Chelsea rivalry kind of go way back. Some epic. And I actually genuinely believe that Roman actually loves the club. That's kind of something that people, for me, can't question. But also, what George said about PSG being a brand, the Premier League is a brand, and they will not let Chelsea disappear like that. There's literally a lot of things, negotiations behind closed doors that we're not blessed or honored to actually hear or even see, that we will never even be even open to even discuss. And hey, we will actually banter them for a couple of weeks, but then as George and everyone's been saying, in May things will be open again, and the players that people are saying are going to be out of contract, they will sign. And again, as a football fan, you want the best teams in your division. You want your best teams. You want the epic games. You want the best players playing in the Premiership, and Chelsea attract that type of ilk of player. And again, even the surrounding areas, Fulham, Broadway, like all of the shops, they can also benefit from like the tourism, from the away fans that actually come and actually support the team. So there's going to be huge ramifications for the local area, even, what I'm saying? So that, and, there's going to be jobs that are going to be lost, people's livelihoods in like this type of current climate, it's kind of not even nice to even think about. So I hope that Chelsea are okay. And I say that through gritted teeth. But again, as a kind of football fan, you want everything to be sorted out. Like, you want everyone's shirt to be ironed properly. And, and again, make sure as things are as transparent as possible, because, we are all football fans. We all want the best for like our team and our league.
No, and I'll back you up on that, Breezy. I personally, me and Cal have gone back and forward with this a lot. I agree with you. I don't want Arsenal, Man United relegated. As much as I hate them, those fixtures make the season what it is. Like, I feel like you need your rivals. Without the rivalry, I feel like football loses itself a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people moan about Farmers League, so to speak, about how easy Celtic used to always win the Scottish League and Bayern Munich always blitzed but that's what happens if there's no true rivalry. Bayern Munich took away the opportunity for any team to really ever, go up against them by always just taking their best players, and it's how they just dominated everything. If Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal all dropped out the Premier League, Liverpool winning the league wouldn't feel good to me. Like, maybe in the moment I'd be happy, but if you don't, because we can't, let's be real, guys. We can't sit here and have a problem with Man City being glad that they've won the league, won the cup, yeah? When they played, no, but let's get real. If they win the cup and they played Bury, Oldham, Tranmere, Portsmouth, and then they beat, I don't know, Southampton in the final, all of us would all sit here and go, well, they can't be happy they won that cup. What are they talking about? Like, come on, man. Nobody can ever big them up for winning that cup. Look at the teams they beat to win the cup. So how do we get to gloat about winning the Premier League if, with no disrespect to Tottenham, if Chelsea, Man U, Man City were all thrown out the league and that was the only reason why we won the league? It would be like, well, there was no competition left. So we won the league because nobody else is there. I don't mind those teams faltering and not doing well. That's hilarious. But if they're just taken away, it's the reason Inter Milan's titles under Mourinho were tarnished. Milan and Juve were taken out of the equation. If they didn't win the league, it was a failure. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, for me, I want competition. I hate these guys. Of course I do. But without the competition, the football loses itself a bit. So I agree with Breezy. As much as I'm loving that Chelsea might be in the mud, I don't want Chelsea to just all of a sudden not exist anymore and they're not a football club anymore. That would be weird. It would be weird. Like, so I agree. Cal, I see you chomping at the bit. What are you feeling about the Chelsea situation, bro?
I'm just going to remove the banner now that I'm going to speak. Guys, Breezy, I get what you're saying in terms of a human standpoint for the staff. Yeah, the staff I get. But that's where it ends with me.
I'm with you.
I'm not as mature as you, Breezy.
Keep going.
Chelsea Football Club get relegated and you're not going to celebrate. Sorry, but George, where are we linking up, bro? George, where are we linking up? Do you want me to come to North? You coming to South? How are we doing it, bro?
We'll make it a weekender. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's just make a weekend of it. Sorry. Drip, Breezy. What's going on there? Yeah, what's going on? All right, let me just break it down for you lot, yeah? These lot will still sing about Gerrard slipping. These lot have been spending more money than anyone else. These lot...
We hate Tottenham.
Yeah, like... I'm not going to say this to
Is that not all just
Chelsea
football banter, though, guys? Is
no,
that not all just football banter?
Let me land, Drift. Let me land.
Go on.
I'm not going to bring politics into this too much, but I'm just going to let you know of a few things that have happened. black man not being allowed on the Eurostar by certain fans. Certain fans singing about things going on in the media. Certain fans clapping Abramovich when they were speaking about the Ukraine situation. Bro, look, there's a section of Chelsea fans I love to death because they are great people. But let's not act like these men haven't become a bit of a stain on the Premiership with some of their actions. And as a football club, seeing Chelsea get relegated, I would be over the moon, bro. What, 5 million for Kante? All right, yeah.
We'll take Rudiger on the free.
My problem is with this whole situation, is obviously that when you look at the politics, there's some contradictions and hypocrisy from the government as to what political things they will address and which political things they won't address. I'm not going to get into that. Obviously, this isn't a platform for that. And I don't have enough information to give any credible information. So I'm not even going to go down that route. But in terms of what I'm seeing on face value, Chelsea being in this certain situation, good. I don't care about them. You think they'd be sitting there? You think Chelsea fans would be sitting there saying, I wouldn't mind Liverpool being in the league. I don't want them to get rid. No, bro, they would want us to go down. And I want the same. I want the
but
same.
Don't you lead by example, Cal, rather than follow the bad
I
egg?
have led by example, bro. Where's it got me, bro? I want titles.
This is just football. Teams come and go. Look at where Villa and Leeds and Forest and all these teams have ended.
You say there's
up.
not going to be rivalries,
in the league 100 years ago.
Yeah,
Look
bro.
where they are now, like.
Yeah, bro. Like you say, we're not going to have rivalries if these teams go down, bro. We'll make new rivalries. Chelsea weren't a rival before 2004. Look at them now, bro.
Villa are on the up.
Yeah, bro.
Spurs are on the up, but.
So let me play the. It's not even going to be devil's advocate now because I see where all you lot's minds are at. Is it kind of like a if you dance with the devil type of situation here where they've not literally obviously, but they've got this money injection and it was amazing, and it's given them 20 years of absolute success. But when something comes easy, it can also go easy. And this is what can happen. Easy come, easy go. That's the saying in life, right? So it's almost like they sacrificed their future for the 20 years of gain. You know, I'm sure everybody knows Damien, the DMX song. Where it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's that whole thing of like, all right, cool. Yeah, you're going to give me everything I want. Let's do it. Is this kind of then a situation which I know you lot all going to say yes to, really, so I don't even know why I'm asking this, probably more for Breezy. Is this a situation where they kind of just have to accept them, maybe? That if that is what happens to them, they got all that joy and all that success, it's kind of, you got to bite your tongue and hold it because that's just how the cookie crumbles.
That's where I disagree. So this, if I'm going to flip it now, this is where I disagree. The fans generally don't have a say in who becomes the owner of the club, do they? So they can't be blamed. And it's not like
No, we're not blaming them. We're just saying it's just how the cookie crumbles. They just got to
I know, but
it,
it's like a kid being born into a family, but the parents do a madness. Like that kid's not going to know what's going to happen. The kid, all that's going to happen is the kid's going to come under repercussions, and that's what's happening to the fans now. So in that sense, I kind of feel it for them, but you know.
I mean, for the older fans, yeah. Anyone who's under 28, you're a Chelsea fan because you was a glory hunter. So technically, maybe chasing the glory, this is the repercussion.
I mean, hey, Chelsea, literally made stars out of players. We're talking Drogba, we're talking. Help me out.
I was waiting, Breezy. I was waiting. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Certainly not Torres.
They buy their stars, Breezy. I can't lie. They buy their stars. They don't make them, bro.
Breezy must have insight that we don't have it.
I know.
Yeah, they buy them. They don't make them, Breezy. They really do. Lampard. You can say they made Lampard.
Yeah. And hey, like again, Chelsea when the money was flowing, teams like Liverpool, United and other clubs that were like, right, we've got to step up our game now. So there was a domino effect where it's like, if it wasn't because of Roman, then we wouldn't be getting now the billionaire owners now. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't be getting certain acquisitions, as in player acquisitions that now are entertaining the league. So yeah, there was a well, I don't know, was there a plus side? And of course, Mourinho, like his first tenure at like Chelsea, breath of fresh air. It was like, okay, so there was kind of good like parts to it.
Breezy's making a point there, guys. Is Breezy not making a good point there that what Roman did bring eyes to the Premier League that helped to grow the brand?
I get that, but then also it spirals into other situations like the inflation of football prices and wages. Because I think I've said this on this show before, but I stand to this day, the 50 million Torres from Liverpool to Chelsea was the transfer that caused the inflation in the football prices because he flopped at Chelsea. Because he flopped, all of a sudden it became, if he's worth 50 mil, so and so is worth less, Andy Carroll's worth 35, whatever, and so on and so forth. Like it's just it then escalated from then onwards. So yeah, he may have injected money to bring in the best talent, but they're overpaying by a hefty margin to get these players in, which meant that everyone else had to do it. So there's so many that you could have. There's negatives and positives to all. There's always going to be rich owners in football, regardless. Look at Man United. So I was going to
say, could Man United not be more to blame for the dumb pricing?
No.
And Real Madrid to a degree, because Real Madrid did the Bale Ronaldo deals for stupid money when you think about it at the time. Ronaldo costing 70 mil at that time was ridiculous, man.
No, but at that time, you're buying literally the best players in the world. Yeah. Bale ended up becoming the third best player in the world behind Messi and Ronaldo that they bought for that amount of money. Like, that was what 70 mil got you. Now you're telling me that, like, Jadon Sancho is going for 100 mil and Mbappe is 250 mil when he didn't even technically do anything at the time, like when he got moved. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just escalated so much past that point. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe Torres was the one. Maybe Torres is definitely the reason why we paid 35 for Andy Carroll, which was.
But that's what I mean. It just has such a huge knock-on effect.
Torres started it, and then Neymar took it to a new level.
Yeah, that was to like a whole completely different.
No, but then again, Bale had already been done before Neymar and a few others. So it wasn't like the Neymar one was.
I'd say that was worth the price tag, though.
Like 200 mil, bro.
No, but because it was his buyout. So I think it was a little bit different because it wasn't like a negotiation. It was like, well, that's what you want to pay. And everybody got the banter. That was PSG punishing Barca.
142 mil for Coutinho, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's worth it. We're talking about value for money. He was worth it at the time.
No, he weren't, Drip. He weren't.
No, he was
brilliant. It was brilliant for us. But 142 mil, he weren't worth that, bro.
He was, man. If that's what you want to do to get our best player, then that's what you got to pay, innit?
I mean, but like, if you can really think about like the Torres situation, like if like Torres hit the ground running and if he was scoring the goals like, for Liverpool as, for Chelsea, that like £50 million would have been a bargain. It's it's only because he flopped and he flopped so bad, then, of course, people are like, right, okay. Now like they're kind of trying to compare prices and ages, and I get and again I like believe that Chelsea also kind of brought in this kind of paying agents and like management huge amounts of money, and again the agents were like, okay, well, if like Chelsea can like do this for like our play, well, like United, Liverpool, City, I don't know, Arsenal, well, can't we put Arsenal in there? But again, it's a kind of combined thing. And again, like football just kind of comes down to the, right time, right place, a little bit of luck, a little bit of opportunity. And hey, it is what it is. But hey, I just, hopefully when like the dust settles, the like people like, like the backroom staff at like Chelsea that have no say, exactly what everyone's been like saying, that have no say in this, are like well and safe, because again it's it's a very unbalanced environment right now, and people have mouths to feed and like whatnot without going into anything too like long. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Can I just make another point? One more point.
Yeah.
And again, this is adding on to what George said. But also, what I will say, Breezy, I fully agree with that. Backroom staff, I want to see them, get a new job or whatever. I don't want to see them suffer. The players will be fine. Like, that is football. They will be fine. Manager will be fine, etc. Don't forget, Chelsea were buying players just to stop other clubs buying players at one stage. You know, that was their transfer strategy at one stage. Scott Parker, Sidwell, Sean Wright Phillips, Mo Salah. Like, let's not forget what they were doing.
De Bruyne as well, probably, yeah.
De Bruyne. Bloody John Obi Mikel.
Yeah.
Not only that, they've been done
Willian.
twice for transfer wrongdoings. Gel Kakuta and the last one when they got the ban the last time. Like,
sorry, George, I forgot about the Willian one.
that one right there.
Like, these lot aren't innocent. Like, they've been doing a bit of a madness for a while. So,
oh, well, we know they're not innocent. Oh, yeah, we know. So, all right, so here's what I want to end this on before we get through the super chats. I could see they were piling through while we were talking.
Yeah.
So we'll get on them. Last thing I want to say. All jokes aside, I'll just go around the room. I'll start with you, Cal. Are you genuinely bothered that Chelsea fans will be affected in terms of, like you said, it's not their fault who bought their club. So if it's ripped from them, do you feel bad for them or is it fun them?
For anyone who supported Chelsea before 2003, I feel sorry for. Anyone after 2003, I'll be holding trials for new fans. You'll have to support the under 23s first to prove your worth, and then we'll let you on the first team.
I like that. George, feel sorry for them or bun them?
Nah, not really, to be honest with you. Like, I'm a Spurs fan.
I know. I just wanted to see.
I'm not being funny. They've had 20 years of incredible success. They've had their fun. Like, if this is the repercussions of what's happened, then like, so be it. It's on them. Like, that's all I can say. Like, this, I'm not exactly going to start feeling sorry for them. This happened. This is football. This has happened to so many other clubs as well. Obviously, not necessarily this specific scenario, but teams come and go. That's just how things happen.
Yeah, no, I hear
and
that.
They might not even be gone. They might not even be gone anyway. They're just gonna have to deal with the fact that they might have to be operated slightly differently, and they might not necessarily challenge for everything. That's it. I'm not saying they're gonna get relegated and disappear off the face of the earth. It's just they're gonna have to just come to terms with the fact that they're gonna be run completely differently now. That's it. Like,
yeah. I hear that. Yeah,
C1 East is a type of fan I don't feel sorry for. C1 East is a type of fan I don't feel sorry for. He said he's Chelsea till he dies. So,
yeah. Before we move on, Breezy, do you feel sorry for the fans or is it bun the fans?
You know, I've got to agree with Carl. You know, anyone that was there when Chopper Harris was around, then hey, like those are like, those are the true blues. You know what I mean? Again, it's it's the kind of local area, it's the kind of independent businesses that are really going to be suffering if like this kind of goes ahead. But hey, exactly what George's saying as well. Football goes, literally goes around in a circle, and hey, like it's just not Chelsea's time right now. Let Liverpool, City, and again, there's always going to be a new team in like London that's going to take that crown. West Ham. Can't really.
Hold up. Wait a
Shade.
minute. Something ain't right. You need a team that are losing.
The shade. Oh man! Even when Tottenham aren't playing, they still catch a stray. I swear.
Whoa.
Oh man! No, you know what? Like I said, it will be interesting. I truly believe that Chelsea actually won't end up being hit, and I think the more realistic thing is they'll just have to operate like we all do. I genuinely think, but at a massive head start. Let's be real. If you've got that squad to start your normality with, you're doing a lot better than Tottenham, Liverpool, and a lot of other clubs when they had to like do that whole starting from the beginning thing. So, you know what I mean? We'll watch this space closely, and when we've got some Chelsea fans on next time, I think we'll touch on it a little bit more. So before we get into the predictions for the weekend, we've got some big games coming up. I see we've got plenty of super chats we've got to get through, Kel.
Big up to Zaviri, says, I reckon I'm a good signer for PSG. Vibes Lion.
Hey, real talk. Bring the mood up.
Bro, Streets Approved Thames says, guys, I honestly think PSG don't lose that game if they bring on Genie at halftime. They lost the midfield battle and they got peak.
And he's not even in the Champions League squad. That's how much that team's a mess. He wasn't
there.
He's
in the squad. He's in the squad.
I heard he was taken out of the squad, bro.
No, he's in the squad. He's in the squad. Or was in the squad.
Okay.
Official AMD says, feel for the Chelsea fans a bit. Fans can't buy tickets. The owner is being sanctioned due to politics, but the fans suffer. Super League politics, fans suffer. Hicks and Gillette debacle, fans suffer. Exactly.
Yeah.
We've suffered. They haven't yet. Pete Al says, gonna meet Lukaku on a Ryanair flight to France. Oh, that tickled me.
You could actually smell the pups still in the leather from those Ryanair planes. I swear down. No, you can. Breezy on my line. You could actually smell the pup in the chair still. Ryanair's. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, let's move on.
DJ says the 3 is a temporary suspension. It is, but I mean, do they even have working data and all that now? They might have been on the phone like, yeah. Guys, have you lost reception? Yeah. We travel through here all the time.
Calls are no longer being connected to this number.
Please call customer service immediately. If Kopish stayed on the yacht, you can buy them. Lee 2 calling. Chelsea thought the cold night at Stoke was over. Chelsea in the mud. I love it.
And I want that yacht party, bro. We did a quadruple. It's a yacht party for an absolute fact. Come on.
Yeah, I'm still wondering how you're gonna finance that drift, but okay.
Everybody said they'll chip in. Everybody already said they'll chip in if we give away 100 free tickets to join us on the yacht. So
I heard Abramovich one's available.
Jay Finn, do you really think a man of that worth $9 billion to walk away from $3 billion? You guys are mad. He's gonna hold it because he's not getting S either way. Maybe the longer he holds it, the better.
But that's where we'll know whether he truly loves the club, because holding it will mean the club are in massive jeopardy. So that will be when we truly know how much he loves the club.
Let him hold it. Just hold on. You're going down. Going down.
You know what? There's also something I want to say before I forget as well. There is the possibility that because he's so good at what he does, he could already have had the paperwork done for a sale and we just don't know, you know. He may have sold the club in the last week and we don't know. So we'll also have to watch the space for the next couple of days on that as well.
Yeah, very true. Aiden says Boris pack hitting, taking trains up to away games. Hey, I'm down for it. Lord Walker says Chelsea sold their souls for silverware and still defending him. Right. No comment. AMD Speak says, what about the Rio transfer from Leeds to United? I thought it was kind of working within the situation at the time.
It was big though. 30 million at that time was huge. It was huge.
But 30 million was kind of the big fee though, innit? That was the big fee. And it wouldn't be a regular.
Yeah, and it's the fact that they got a top quality, as we've seen from what they won after that he joined, they got a top player. Like world-class player from that. Yeah. So it sort of justified the price at the time, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Ash says money United spent between 95 and 2003 was peanuts compared to what Roman did. He ruined it. Guy's a gangster and he deserved every sanction. Hope the titles get stripped and relegated to Conference South. Jeez.
Right. I've heard a couple of people saying that should their titles be taken away because if you achieved it with something, I think that would be ridiculous though.
Strip them. Let man walk over in his socks and boxers, bro. DJ says, George, would you have loved Roman?
I don't get wear up in a hypocrite anyway. I'm just we've always wanted an owner that would spend money on our club, but we're still going to be here in 20 years. So
all right, Drift, close your eyes. I'm going to read out this super chat. Close your eyes. Drifty, close your eyes and imagine a midfield of Fabinho, Kante, and Thiago. You still want them man to stay up? That's what I thought.
Missing all of us slip, you know.
Jay Finn says, I didn't see any Chelsea fans marching and protesting for Liverpool when they were in problems 12 years ago. If we're here, just keeping it just a football, can we all go down like? I mean, I didn't see any Chelsea fans.
I hear that they never cared about us, but I tried to live my life for how I want and what I think is right, rather than to do what others would do. So I get it. They would be definitely snarking at us and doing all of that. I know they would. I can't even, stereotype them as a fan base. I think they would be, but I still don't want to move like that myself. I'm going to enjoy watching them come back to reality. But if they went like into relegation and stuff like that, I think past a couple of hours of laughing, I'd be like, nah, that's a shame. Like a proper rivalry's gone from the league and rare. I think I would.
Newcastle will be next.
It's closer anyway. Since we first knew each other, you softened up a lot, bro.
I'm trying to live my life.
Like Freezy, like them old boxers used to say, like, you can't train hard when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. That's good, bro. You won the Premier League and the Champions League, and he's sleeping in silk pajamas now, bro. I need the Mike Tyson drifty back. That's what I need to see back. Okay, so the hypocrisy is nuts. Don't cry about FSG again. DJ, I'll take this one. I will cry about FSG again if they don't do what they need to do for our club. Roman's not our owner. That doesn't mean they get a free pass. Just because I see another parent being a bad parent doesn't mean I can treat my kids badly. Like, don't work like that. Mendy, come on.
Bring him on for penalties.
Yeah, bro. Reece James and Trent as right back. So you come on, you lot, man. Get with it, Drift, man. Get with it, bro. Lord Walker says our voice is always in what we do, work and support. Very true. DJ says unless you support Spurs, everyone are glory hunters. Raw, DJ.
All I'm reading between the lines here. All I'm saying is I'm a real one. Okay, you know you're getting loyalty with me.
And did you know what? No, George, I'm never gonna lie.
Thin because there's been no thick about it. I can tell you that for a fact.
Absolutely no shade.
I'd want you to marry her.
Absolutely no shade whatsoever. When I hear a person say they support Villa, Leeds, Tottenham, any of those teams, I do literally think real one. I can't lie, because I know nothing made you make that decision that was based on any glory or any type of jumping on a bandwagon. So there's actually a lot of truth to that, even though that's not why because we became Liverpool supporters while they were kind of in the mud, and it was because of other circumstances. But at the same time, I get it. A lot of Liverpool fans are from the glory era, so I do get that.
Robbie Keane and Ledley King tricked me.
Ash says door-to-door collection. I want all those medals rounded up, every title strip. John Henry has to walk through London. Shame. That's what I'm down for it.
I saw a hilarious tweet that was like, I think they should just take away their 16-17 title win and give it to whoever came second.
Hey, look.
My owner's walking
around. I don't know what you heard about me.
Bobo can't get $1 out of me.
Man.
Hey, guys, you know what? Literally, I've just got to free customer service helpline, and I'm number 99.
Looking rough, isn't it? It's looking rough, isn't it? A-Spec says, when Hicks and Gillette had us on our knees, Chelsea fans laughed at us. I'm here for the downfall. Facts. Zabiri says West Ham is the CFC, Spurs will be Spurs. No shade, George, but you man ain't going anywhere until Ted Lasso come through. Imagine the vibes in the press.
So you're saying West Ham are becoming the team that rents their stadium from the government and can't afford to do anything else? Yeah, okay, cool.
Math says FSG ain't looking so bad on the eye now, eh? Shout out to Zabiri. Very true. Very true. I'll hold my hands up. Mr. Dare Say It Drift says, Drifty, game to say save your life. Karius or Adrian in goal? Just say your goodbyes, innit? Just say your goodbyes and write a will, bro.
No, do you know what? All jokes aside, Adrian. I'd put Adrian in goal if it was the game that had to save my life out of those two, yeah. Karius has still got PTSD. I don't even know if he actually can ever play in goal without having the flashbacks. I really don't.
Boy. Alex George says if Spurs got relegated, the EPL would be better off. That's obviously an Arsenal fan saying that.
Yeah,
obviously. I mean, who else would you banner? We make this league entertaining whether you like it or not. So.
Show says, can I get Chelsea on Klarna?
Well, with this many donors, you're getting more than a Brozovic right now.
Quick question off topic. George, as an outsider perspective, what trophies do you think Liverpool can add to this season's League Cup, if any?
I reckon the league is possible, but I still think City are great, to be honest with you. I'd say the FA Cup.
Yeah, it is.
I think the other two are just going to be. I know it's obviously close now with the league. I just think it's going to be just a little bit too difficult. I know what City are like when it comes to the end game. So,
A-Spec says, for anyone that's seen the Eddie Murphy film Trading Places, that's literally Chelsea and Newcastle right now.
Freaky Friday.
Matt's Wi-Fi says, I'm on the train and the guy in front is watching this at the same time, Orcs, because he's going to read this.
Oh, shit. I'm big up to both of you, though. We say Kopish on the train, yeah? Big up to both of you. That's legendary. That's actually legendary.
That's
all of them, bro.
If you're the guy in front super chatting to say you've looked behind and you've let him know that you've seen it.
You want to see a photo?
But yeah, boys. Let's move on then to the weekend. We're talking football still again. We've got the fixtures coming up at the weekend. I'll just quickly ask Breezy and George just quickly on the Brighton one, because we'll obviously have the preview for the Brighton game. But Breezy, just quickly, Brighton away, 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday. How you feeling about that one, bro?
Confident. Funny enough, I'm actually kind of glad that Enter beat us. So then this this winning run, so now there's no pressure about anything. Like, let's just kind of continue this kind of great form that we're in. Am I worried that we didn't score against Enter? No. Brighton are not playing particularly well. I don't think they've won in how many now? Quite a few.
I think it's four without a win. I think so. It is quite a bad run they're on. Yeah. Which is more scary though, isn't it, bro? Because whenever a team's losing, there's a chance they're gonna win one eventually, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, they are playing home, and it's always that kind of cliche that teams always play that 10% better against teams that are fighting for trophies. But I mean, again, I can only see a Liverpool win. We've been playing well. Diaz has just hit the ground. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And again, it's just so refreshing. Just kind of someone that kind of comes in and just kind of gets the philosophy and kind of and literally gets Liverpool. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at an away win.
I think we need to start dialogue there, because Kulusevski's got 3 more goals in assist than Diaz in the center. Just saying.
No, Kulusevski's actually playing well. I do rate.
I rate Diaz a lot as well. I'm just joking.
Yeah. So what do you think of that game? The Brighton 12:30 game with Liverpool, George? Just quickly.
Yeah, I said it to you guys before in our chats. Like, I haven't been impressed with Brighton at all since the turn of the new year. Really, especially because like when we played them in the FA Cup a couple of months back, I was fully expecting that to be like, and it was the full teams going against each other. I was fully expecting that to be a much tougher game than it was. Apart from Basuma's goal, which was absolutely they scored a huge deflection anyway, even though he played well. But the rest of the team, I just feel like they weren't anywhere near up to par as to what they were doing earlier in the season. So yeah, even though they're at home, I still think you guys got this. I think it's
so like George. So literally, when you played them, Spurs are playing the extra 10%.
Moving on.
Oh my days! Like Breeze is in savage mode today. You know what? Did Tottenham do us something? Are you still holding grudges from when Harry Kane got that penalty that he shouldn't have in our title run? It's
If you want to talk about penalties, you are not talking to the right guy right now. You are not.
Oh my days! I just saw a raging George I've never seen in my entire life. Oh my days!
Oh, George, man. You made the water go out my nose, bro. George wheeled back in the chair, you know.
I need room.
Oh my days! Oh man!
Yeah, my chat was right. The villain origin story is starting.
Oh my days! Oh, my eyes are actually watering. Oh my god!
So am I, look. Fucking
oh fuck you, no. All right, so actually, do you know? I'll leave that. That's the big one. That's the big one. I'll leave that one. Let's get into a little one. Chelsea at home to Newcastle. Is this the passing of the baton? Could that be what this game is?
we said the Chelsea fans are going to go over to the Newcastle section, yeah. Like you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like they can just like everybody can get in formation and they can just like run around and just everybody just pass the baton on in it and just let Newcastle run into the distance with it. But no,
they're going to move like footballers and swap shirts at full time.
You know what?
For real.
That would actually be hilarious. That would actually be hilarious. But I think Chelsea fans, you know, the ones that are born post 2003, as Cal said, maybe they will become Newcastle fans. Who knows?
They probably will.
So Newcastle away at Chelsea. Newcastle in really good form at the moment. Chelsea themselves are actually playing decent at the moment. That's the 2:00 kickoff on the Sunday. What are we thinking, guys? George, I'll start with you. What are we thinking? Can Newcastle get anything at the Bridge?
I doubt it, to be honest with you. I know they have been playing well. Obviously got a good few wins on the bounce, but if I'm seeing the likes of Chris Wood coming up against Chelsea defence, I can't see it happening, to be honest with you. I still think Chelsea have got this one. As much as we're bantering Chelsea today, I still think they got this.
Yeah. Well, what's your score for that one, bro?
Yeah, you said Chelsea are home, right? I think.
Yeah, it's at the Bridge. Yeah.
2-0 Chelsea win. I think it's going to be difficult for Newcastle to score there.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I agree with that. Actually.
That is savage. I'm not gonna lie. You're trying to break me tonight.
That is savage. I agree with George. I'm gonna go 2-0 Chelsea in the game, but I do think it will be a very close game, and Chelsea will probably get their goals for maybe a set piece or something like that. But yeah, I agree. Breezy, what do you think of that one, Chelsea Newcastle, bro?
Yeah, I think I was on your this show when I absolutely literally ripped Newcastle to like shreds, and they've proved me wrong. They're in a good.
Yeah, you did. Although the thing you were right with though was Wood being a poor signing, because let's be honest, Burnley actually got the better deal out of that by far. They got money in the kitty and bought a better player. Yeah. It didn't work out. It didn't work out in that way because it didn't hurt Burnley the way I think Newcastle thought it would.
Well, you know, as a team, they are really pulling together, and I kind of put my hands up and say I was wrong. I think they will survive. But yeah, exactly what George was saying. I think Chelsea will still have a little bit too much. I think it's going to be a close game, and probably Eddie Howe probably marked this game down as a game that it's a bonus. So it's kind of not a game that they thought that they'd win. So I'd say 3-1 Chelsea. 3-1 Chelsea. Yeah, Ryan Fraser's also missing as well, I think, for this game, which is a blow because he's been playing brilliantly for Newcastle these last couple of weeks. But Bruno maybe will be able to play now. So what are you thinking, Cal, for this one, the Chelsea Newcastle?
I'm with George. 2-0 Chelsea. I think it'll be a routine win. especially with no Ryan Fraser as well. I think St. Max isn't back either, if I'm not mistaken.
No, St. Max is back.
He's bad, but he's obviously been in and out of the injuries recently. I think so. It could be a bit.
He's not match fit, but he's fit.
Yeah.
Chelsea win that 2-0.
Cool. You know what? I'm gonna throw this one in just for the LOLs because this show's been just brilliant for the laughter. Everton Wolves. We're talking about in the mud. Everton. Oh my! Could we get the Merseyside derby postponed for the next maybe decade? Because if they go down, they're not coming straight back up. That's for sure.
No, they are in trouble.
And Wolves aren't really informed themselves. What are we saying, George? What are we saying? Everton Wolves. How do you feel about this one, bro?
I mean, we just spanked Everton. I can't lie to you. They look atrocious. There was no cohesion in the way.
You can talk about that for a little while if you want,
whatsoever.
actually, because that was a brilliant performance. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think we look great. But this is the problem. It's like what I said before, and obviously we're going to get into our preview of ours in a sec. But we've been in this sort of win-loss form at the moment. So I was expecting a win against Everton. But to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it to be that easy either, because I think it could have been a lot more goals as well than it was. We genuinely stepped off the gas, I'd say probably in the 60th minute. Well, Son came off in the 63rd minute, I think it was, or 62nd minute. I think from then on, we were effectively just cruising and just seeing out the game. Like, we're actually getting bored. Like, genuinely, like, I've never seen us pass the ball around that much this season. It's nuts.
Bored of winning, that's crazy.
It's weird. I'm not used to it. What do you guys do? Like, I was just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I was like, this is weird. But, no, so honestly, I've got, and the thing is, like, I like Everton. I've got like really close mates that, obviously you guys probably don't want to hear that, but I've got like close mates that are Everton fans, and like, I do feel sorry for them a little bit. But all right, I'm not saying.
You didn't know that. Still, I didn't know that.
I said I don't
I
mind.
have to postpone that weekender now when Chelsea go down, bro.
George comes up with boys and like, it's a shout.
We can celebrate for a few hours and you'll be like, I remember what you said. Get out of here. But no, like, I think, like I said, Wolves haven't been that great either, but it's looking like trouble town for Everton, especially because I've heard a lot today about because they're in a lot of serious financial issues, right? Because I think they're still like under the FFP sort of bracket, which they could end up having sanctions, and having point deductions as well, which would almost guarantee their relegation if they don't pick up their form as things stand.
Yeah, would that point deduction be at the end of this season, George, or would it be the beginning of next season? I think it kicks in at the beginning of next season, I think.
I thought it was.
No, but this season, Cal, they're good as down. If they get a 9-point deduction
season,
now,
if it's next season, it's going to be even more horrific because they'll lose players in the summer. No one will want to go there, and then they'll get relegated.
or they'll already be relegated and they're stuck with a -9, -11 in the championship. Doing like which would be
Division 1. Here they come. That would be nuts.
But this is why I feel a bit mad for them, because they spent a lot, especially with the whole change of owners and things going on there. It was quite complicated, but they spent a lot of money the last few years as well. So I think if they were to go down, they're going to have a lot of issues, because obviously they need to sort of show that they're financially fine to continue with the FFP rules and whatnot. But then they're going to lose. Calvert-Lewin, realistically, is probably going to go to Arsenal or Man U, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
I think Richarlison has said a lot that he wants to stay, but realistically, if they get him relegated and they're in trouble, he's not. There's going to be a team that's going to want to buy him. The likes of Allen only really came to Everton because of Ancelotti and to play with Rodriguez stuff, so he's going to want out as well. So they're going to lose some top players, which means I think they'll be stuck in the Championship a while if they don't sort their situation out.
The only player who'll probably stay and pretend it's loyalty is Pickford, and that's because no one wants him.
You say that, but then he's England #1 at the moment, and you feel like if he's going down with Everton,
he won't be for long, George. That trend's got to stop. Pope's got to get that now. Come on, that's a ridiculous. Like, surely that's
goalkeeper Pope. Yeah, we'll take him.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Tottenham need to go and get Pope in the summer, bro. 100%.
Okay for that. But yeah, as far as prediction goes. It's a tough game to call, to be honest with you. I would say maybe like a 1-0 Wolves win. 1-0.
Oh, okay. So you're going for a home loss. Everton's home form is what's kept them afloat. It's the
Yeah,
away form that's horrific. They do have brilliant home form.
I know. It's just I don't know. Jimenez has just scored now as well. So if he can keep that up for the weekend too, then I think.
I mean, I'm
Wolves
good
should
with
be
it.
okay.
1-0 Wolves. I'm good with that, George. I'm good with a 1-0 Wolves. Breezy, when you think of the Wolves away to Everton?
Well, I think Ancelotti saw something that no one else saw. He's like, "Yeah, I'm bouncing. See you later."
I've never seen someone leave so quick.
It leaves so quick. And again, do I feel sorry for Lampard? No. And I think Leeds and Everton are going to be. I think it's either one. I think they're going to be down.
You think Brentford will stay up now? Yeah.
I think Brent. No, I've talked about
the Norwich win was big for Brentford. It was massive.
It was big.
It was massive. It was massive.
It was absolutely big. And again, with the history and with what Everton literally stands for, of course the Merseyside derbies and again the kind of history, etc. It will be gigantic if Everton go down, and I want them to go down. I think, funny enough, even though that you're saying Everton's home form has been good, I think the fans after the Spurs game are gonna turn their backs if they don't get a response within the first 15-20 minutes. If they can silence the crowd at home, you will see a lot of grumblings. And again, I can imagine with that type of ground and that type of with that type of atmosphere, could be kind of hostile. So, but yeah, I'm actually going for a Wolves win, 3-1.
Raw, you lot are manifesting. I love it. I think it'll be 1-1. I think the game will be a draw, personally, or 0-0. I'm gonna go 0-0 or 1-1. I think it'll be a draw. Cal, what do you think?
2-0 to Wolves. I'm loving this. Everton
get
manifesting manager with their ex-Chelsea manager. Oh, bro, it doesn't get much better than this. And obviously, shout out to Rafa Benitez who started this. We all hard when he took over the job and we're like, "Raw, Rafa's a bit of a traitor doing this." He really showed his loyalty for the club. He really, really did. Because he
knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He was even smart enough to win the first 2 games to not be bait. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Absolute genius. Just quickly touching, because out of obviously paying homage to KG, big up KG who was in the chat earlier on as well. Leeds are at home to Norwich. Can we see Norwich being able to pull something off, or could that be the revitalization now of Leeds? I'm going to go 1-0 Leeds. Cal, what do you think?
3-0 Leeds.
George?
It should be a good Leeds win. I think Bamford's back, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think I saw.
That's what I've heard,
He's been back before. I don't think they should hang their hat on that one.
Wow. But if there was ever...
I'm not even being shady, man. It's just the man got injured celebrating the goal he scored on his comeback. That's peak.
I'm not being funny though. If there was a fixture to win, it's Norwich. So yeah, I'd probably say, 3-1. We'll say a Pookie sort of consolation goal for them, but that's about it.
Cool. Wrapping it up, Breezy, what are you thinking? Leeds at home, Norwich.
Leeds is my hometown, so I want Leeds to survive. It'd be quite interesting to see how the style of play is going to change. This kind of gun-ho, open football, what the players are so used to for that, the past couple of few seasons to see how things will actually change. But yeah, I hope for a Leeds win, and I'd love a 1-0.
1-0. So you're going the same as me, 1-0 to Leeds, yeah? Cool. Just quickly want to touch on the form of Arsenal, paying respect to them, and we may be getting an Arsenal panelist soon as well, guys. We're going to honour you lot's request to get some Arsenal representation. So them George outbursts might become a regular thing.
George is like, well, if he's in, I'm done.
Yeah. If he gets on George's nerves too much, we'll have to reconsider his contract. But
we got you, George. Don't worry, we got you, bro.
We got you, bro. We got you.
It'll be cool.
Arsenal at home to Leicester, though. Do we see Leicester being able to? Because I hate to admit it, Arsenal's form is brilliant, and they're actually playing well, and I think they're going to get top four. And I think Leicester are the massive underdogs going into this game, which normally wouldn't be the case for this fixture in past seasons. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 Arsenal home win. George, what are you thinking?
It's a tough one to call. I can't, because Leicester is one of the most unpredictable teams this year. They could score 4, they can concede 4. They no one really knows what's going on. But like you said, I don't like to give them credit, but Arsenal have done well recently. Arsenal home. I think Arsenal is still going to win though. I would love a Leicester to upset them, but they've been too wishy-washy.
Vardy's back if you need a little bit of encouragement. Vardy's back.
And I'll tell you what, he does love a goal against Arsenal. I will say that. So he probably will bag a goal, but I don't know if Leicester have got it this year, man, to get a win against them. So I hate to say it, but I'll probably say either a 2-1 or 3-2 win for Arsenal. I think it'll be by 1 goal for Arsenal.
Okay, cool. Arsenal win. Breezy?
I've actually heard that Vardy's out. I heard that he's got a knee injury.
Is it? He was back midweek. Is he out again already? If he's out, if Vardy's out again, flipping now.
Yeah.
We need Madison to turn up
that makes it even more.
Vardy's out for about a month. So again, I'm in a hell of a lot of groups with Arsenal fans, and now they're piping up their gums. Oh, we're gonna get off. We've got games in hand. I'm like.
It doesn't take much, Breezy.
Oh, they sounded like us. Look what that ended up.
I think it's going to be a very, very difficult season for Leicester. I think if the season could end now for them, they're like, yeah, cool. Let's just regroup in the summer and just start again. Arsenal are in a good vein of form. My head is saying one thing, but my heart's saying another. Okay, let me be real. I can only see an Arsenal win.
What's the score?
3-2.
3-2. Okay, so George, you two both think it'll be by 1 goal, but there'll be a lot of goals in it. And just quickly, Cal.
I'm going 4-0 Arsenal.
Cool. Yeah, I've gone 3-0. I think Arsenal are going to pam them. I really do. I think they're going to put them to the sword. And just quickly, is there any chance at all that they can reverse their hoodoo? Crystal Palace, they're at home. They normally play well against City when it's at the Etihad, but man, City always roll them over at Selhurst Park. It's at Selhurst Park. Any chance anybody that Crystal Palace can possibly pull off a draw here? Anybody?
They've been scoring goals recently in the last few games, but it's not
you're going 2-2, Carl, yeah?
Right.
You think Palace will get 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say 2-2 as well. I'm gonna manifest this. I'm gonna say 2-2
ain't
as
as
well.
tight defensively as people think, man. They're not.
Yeah, but bro, you never get the ball to do anything to them, though, do you? That's the problem.
I like my chances with Elise and them, man. And Zaha's coming back.
Zaha penalty.
Yeah, I'm gonna manifest that 2-2. You're right. I'm gonna manifest it 2-2. I'm gonna go 2-2.
Let's see a Palace result here.
Yeah, George, bring us back down to earth.
Oh, yeah, this is...
George is being there like, these idiots.
Why did I come back here? Go on. I can't. I just don't see Man City winning, to be honest with you. Unless a Townsend rocket from outside the box ends up through again. But...
He's not even there, bro. He's at Everton now.
Oh, there you go. That's what I mean. Like, you ain't got it. 3-1, 3-0 City. Man, I can't see it this time round.
Yeah, and just Breezy, you're gonna try and manifest, or do you just see an absolute mauling from City?
Listen, I think fair enough. City played a second string team against Porto, but they're front three, front four were still, I would class as their first.
They cruise through that game, no? They 5-0 up from the first leg. What's the point in wasting energy?
Yeah, But I mean, again, Pep will just remind them, look, Palace is not an easy place to go to, and if the Palace fans are in pure singing voice, you can like hear that from Thornton Heath, Streatham sides.
Yeah.
So, but no, again, I think Elise has got to be really on his game. I think, and we will actually see how like good this young like man is. And again, you are like looking at, moments of brilliance for like Palace and moments of concentration or lapses of concentration from Man City, and that's the thing. Gosh, I'm 4-1.
Yeah. All right, moving on. I'd just like to say Alex is demonstrating what we're talking about with Arsenal fans, because
loved it again in over their heads.
I truly do believe Arsenal are going to get it. I do, but he just bantered Tottenham about top 4 when Arsenal ain't been in the top 4 for 3 years in a row. If Arsenal make it back, guys, we've got to put up with a lot of shit. I'm just telling if Arsenal get that 4th spot, we have got to put up with a lot of shit.
We'll put up with stuff until February when they get Bayern Munich and get pammed 10-2 on aggregate again.
Yes. Yeah, they haven't won a Champions League knockout since I was in diapers. So
I hear that. So moving on to the big one before we finish up, Man United, Tottenham. I genuinely believe this is the most Jekyll and Hyde game you could ask for in terms of not having a clue. If you told me I had to bet my life on the winner of this game, I would just tell you to shoot me now. Because what's the point in going through 90 minutes of that, trying to figure out whether my life is going to be okay or not? We could have the Man United that turned up at Atletico and had a brilliant game and come away from a draw. We could have the Tottenham that spanked Man City. We could have the Tottenham that lost to Southampton. Who knows? We could have the Man United that got rolled by Man City. Who knows what we are actually going to get from this game? So, George, it's your team. Talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
I'll tell you now, put Man U 1-0 with the way we operate, man. I would love for us to be there. It's such an important game for us. Like, we have to, considering how close we are to them. I think we are 6 points behind with 2 games in hand, and obviously we're playing them. So it's a massive, massive 6-pointer, especially if we want to, charge on for top 4. But listen, like I said earlier in the stream, we've been doing this win-loss thing now. Conte historically, when he's got less days to sort of prepare, he tends to struggle in the midweek games. So, and they did like a chart just from our games already that he's been in charge of, and I think we've only won 1 game that has come 4 or less days after another game. Whereas we've won all of them except for the draw against you guys of ones where we've had 5 or more days to prepare. Now we're sort of on the border in this one. It's about 4 or 5 days from when we played Everton. This is when we're playing United. So that's why I said it might be a little bit more difficult, but we don't have that consistency in our team at the moment. Kane looked unbelievable the other day. Might not necessarily happen on Saturday. It's just the way we've been at the moment. Like we went missing against Middlesbrough of all teams after a big win against Leeds. So I honestly, genuinely cannot call it. I think Man United have been terrible themselves, but we are just so up and down at the moment. I can't rely on us to get a good result. So I think, to be honest with you, if I'm being honest, it's going to be a draw, but we have to beat them if we want to stand a chance at the top 4.
You guys very rarely draw games. It's something I've kind of noticed about Spurs.
Yeah, not really.
You either win or you lose, isn't it? Like, it's actually really strange. Obviously, you do draw occasional times, but when I think about Tottenham in general, very rarely do we talk about a draw. We're always talking about either you spanked them or you lost. It is really weird. Yeah, Tottenham have been like that for a little while. So what are you going to give me a score prediction, bro? What do you think it'll be?
Probably 1-1. I'd say 1-1.
1-1. Breezy, what do you think? It's at Old Trafford. What are you thinking?
You know what, George? I love that little kind of stat right there. That was mad because us as Liverpool fans, we don't really kind of look at stats like that. That's just...
Well, you got a squad. You don't have to look at stuff like that.
I'm just saying, like, how you could have brought that down. I'm like, raw, like you're actually analyzing everything. But
no. It's when you see stuff like that on the tee and everything, it ingrains in your brain as a so this stuff comes back to haunt us many days later. So
yeah, but hey, I mean, yeah, it's at it's at Trafford. You know what? It doesn't matter Trafford or like wherever Spurs play. I think the this kind of Old Trafford theatre of dreams, fortress, that's long gone now. So I, again, if like Song and Kane have that partnership that the prime Dwight York and Andy Cole like forged, then I can see a lot of trouble for that United defense. De Gea is not playing particularly well, in my own opinion. If Wan-Bissaka plays, again, no shade on any elite player, but he's a throwback to like the early 70s, 80s type of right back that just likes to go down and tackle. It doesn't, there's nothing dynamic about him. So I think it's gonna be kind of interesting to see exactly how they match. I'm just listen. There's no shade.
50 years out of date, bro. That's what you just said, bro.
Listen, you know what? Like, listen, I'm just saying that you can kind of get a can of beans from like any supermarket, and that kind of beans has actually been there for years, and it's still
not 50 years, bro.
Well,
that's a Walking Dead business.
Yeah. But again, I think it'd be quite interesting to see if Ronaldo plays, and I do like the look of Alanga as well. Like he like looks like someone that can kind of kick on within that United team. Oh gosh, it's it's a game, that will either be like I'd say the headline game on Match of the Day that there's gonna be so many goals, or literally it could be the last game on Match of the Day where it's going to be a boring 1-1 draw with nothing going on. And I'm gonna go with George. I'm gonna support you today, man. I'm gonna support you. And, I'm gonna go with a very entertaining 4-2 win. Spurs.
Ooh. Right, that's a beating up at Old Trafford.
Hey. I mean, we've done the 6 in last year. So...
True that.
What are you saying, Cal?
I see Tottenham getting this. Man United, they're poor. They're really poor, man. I love it, but they're really
poor. You could have got the gigs there.
Basically, Man United, and it's a dead team, bro. Like, obviously, Breezy said it before that Wan-Bissaka's stinking up the place, and that. And you look at them dons there, man. Said they got Champion League Varane, but man can't even qualify for Europa. It looks like so. Basically, I reckon Tottenham are gonna hold these man and give them licks, bro, because them man ain't really about it. And CR7, bro. I mean, man's just Portuguese, bro. That's all he is nowadays, bro. man don't score goals, he don't assist, and then obviously man like Cavani's not even turning up to games, bro. So it's like, and Alanga, bro. Alanga sounds like some sort of a gymnastic move, bro. So that man ain't ready for this, bro.
I think I just called my Alanga. Listen.
Tottenham are gonna beat these men up, bro. It's light work.
You know what? I honestly think as long as we'll be totally fine as long as Kane and Son are both playing well. I think at the moment the problem with our team is we are quite over reliant on both of them doing well. You've seen with the amount of times they set each other up and gotten the record now. I think the problem is when we looked at what was it? I was saying Middlesbrough last week. Son was honestly one of his worst games of the season. He was non-existent.
Yeah,
and then that doesn't help because then he's not doing the runs that for Kane to do his passes, because as well as Kulusevski's been playing, he's not got the same pace as Son. to take on the defenders. He's just great with his feet and control. But also credit to him, Kulusevski's been quality for us the last few weeks. So I think as long as they show up, we will be fine. If they're non-existent, there's no one else in the team that's going to bag the goals. That's where we're in trouble.
I personally, I think the midfield is very interesting because both teams, I think, is where they lack. I think it's the midfield where both of these teams lack, which will make it very interesting when they come up against each other. So I believe the best way for Tottenham to get the victory is to just make sure that they're industrious in midfield and they get about Man U. As long as you get about Man U, you don't even have to be brilliant. You just rough them up a little bit. Højbjerg's very good at doing that, so I'm hoping he's up for it. Just get about them, rough them up, and in the second half, they're asked goals every time. I think they've only won one game where they've needed to score in the second half in like 2 months or something like that. They're not very good in the second half. So I'm going to go. I believe it will be a draw. I think the game's going to be a draw. But I think if Tottenham want to get the victory, I think they have to just win the midfield battle. That's the part for me. Both defenses aren't that great, although Spurs is better.
Well, we got Benton called back now for midfield, which is I'm so much happy for it. I can't handle Winks, Højbjerg, midfield 2 again. It's just the game's done if we start with that. So
you just what I mean. Keep Pogba quiet until he's annoyed. Plus, it seems to be some kind of bet where he has to come off at the 60th minute. Don't know what that's all about. But I don't know if he lost a bet with a manager, but he comes off every game at the 60th minute.
Must have a partnership with FPL just to lock in the 2 points and then get a sub
Oh man, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna go 2-2. I think the game will be 2-2.
Cool.
But there you have it, people. We're not going to do the fantasy because A, George is just running away, but B, the points tally hasn't even been finished. But the points tally hasn't been finished, so there's no point in going into it. So obviously,
I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for everyone. Salah doesn't exist, and George is winning the FPL league.
yeah.
There's only 3 certainties: death taxes and me on top of the league.
It's a done deal. It's a done deal. But obviously, the points won't even be tallied anyway, so there's no point. So obviously, next week we'll let everyone know when it's fully calculated after the game week again, and we're there and we just see how much further ahead George is in the league. But yeah, big up everyone. You had us for an extra half an hour today. Oh yes, my bad.
A-Spec says, this question for George: what happens to Harry Kane next season? Do you think City come back, or does he stay, or can you see another Premiership club going in for him?
Okay, I think it's getting close to almost being past time where he can't really go anywhere. I think that it massively hinges on 2 factors. One, if we get top 4. If we get top 4 and obviously Conte's still happy, then he'll stay. I then also think even if we don't get top 4, but we actually start seeing straight away the funds being given to Conte to give it to create this super team or whatever for the next season, I think he'll stay. The problem is, I think City need a striker, Man U will need a striker, and he's more likely to move to a Prem team than abroad. So I think Man U will probably make the biggest push, as I imagine City will probably go for Haaland this summer. That's what I think will happen.
I personally think Kane served his time at Spurs. He could have really dug his heels in and really made
talk about like it's Felton, bro.
But I know that like City in kind of teams that they are supposed to be beating, they will, they can rack up numbers, but with defenses and like teams in like general that like know how to defend, you just need that little sprinkle of gold dust, and like Kane has that. It'd be quite interesting to see if like Kane wants to be that focal point, because for like Spurs, he's kind of given that role that he can drop deep and literally pick up the ball, and again that kind of connection with him and Song, you can't recreate that unless you buy Song as well. So it'd be quite interesting to see how he adapts when he does go. I'm sorry, George, when he does go. And yeah, I think his destination will be City.
Interesting.
These Cat Sunday says, let's talk about Richarlison. Pure trash, always been saying it, dead player.
I don't like
think
him,
he
so I'm
is,
not
you
going to
know.
big him up. I don't think he's a dead player,
Dead.
but I don't like him, so I'm
Dead.
not going to
He's
big him
dead.
up.
No, I think he's decent. I actually do think he's decent. I just think he is in a terrible team, if I'm being honest with you.
Dead,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Well, let's move on from him.
Official AMD says Agent Rafa did his thing still. He did indeed.
He did.
John says Chelsea went from contract to pay as you go. I don't think they've just got a burner phone now. Like
Top up.
Official AMD says, remember when Lamps tried talking greasy with Klopp? Good this relegation smoke, big man. Lamps in charge, but the lights are done out. I love it. I love it.
Big up to Grizz as well, because after they held that beating from Tottenham, he just tweeted out, well, he shouted at Klopp once.
Zabiri says Viagra can't keep Everton up. Poor fans watching. And there's not even a blue chew's gonna save the Blues now. Is that what you're saying?
Oh my god.
They wear blue, got blue balls, and they're going down quick, boy. You gotta love it. Pete Al says we can get St. Maxwell's Cater becomes what we thought he'd be. What would you choose, Drift?
St. Max.
Hold on, that's two different positions.
Matt is gonna be livid with you when he's back on the show.
I don't. He ain't going anywhere anyway. Newcastle will be league in 3 years' time.
I ain't even answering that one, but Matt is gonna be livid with you, bro. Ash said Fabrizio saying Christensen has agreed to go Barca. Aspie on the verge of Barca too, and Rudiger has 3 clubs to decide from. The dominoes are falling already.
I think what Chelsea have forgotten, that even if they do get sorted out, which I think they will, as we said, Christensen and Rudiger can actually sign with foreign teams now, meaning it will be too late by then. So with those 2 players, it could all be already too late.
I swear Barcelona are going off there. Aren't they getting Matsuri on? I don't know if I pronounce his name. The Ajax right wing back.
Yes,
Are they getting him for free as well?
Yeah, George. No one knows how Barcelona do what they do and get out of what they get out of, bro.
He's another player I wanted that we ain't getting.
I would love him for right wing back as well, to be honest with you. But
bro, he's sick. Zabiri says, George, your family in the chat saying you cut off from your inheritance. Come to Liverpool and gain some class. There is no glory without trophies. We've been trying to seal George's contract behind the scenes for a while. He's playing hardball.
Not happening.
More than you could believe.
More than you could believe. You cannot replace me. You cannot replace me.
P. Al with some very distressing news for me. Neto has signed a new deal at Wolves.
Yeah, guys, I won't show you how upset Cal was in the chat, but he was very upset.
I'll speak about that on another day.
And you know what? A good point someone just made before we left is that you are actually Coutinho's lucky charm, Cal, because every single time we're live while Villa are playing, he absolutely bags it up. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to keep that energy because we'll be live while Man City are playing Villa on the last day of the season. So let's hope somehow we get into that game with a bit of hope, innit?
I'll be honest, I just love how forgiving our fan base is. So if I ever do something mad on here, I know that we'll never lose our fans because they'll just forgive me, innit? No matter how disrespectful I am, I know everyone in the chat will forgive me because they've forgiven Coutinho.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, as I said, I know where that's from, but I can't remember. but as I said, guys, you've had us for half an hour extra this today. But massive big up, George, because I know you're coming back from that GQ shoot as well, bro. So thanks for jumping in.
It's been a great laugh.
Yeah, man. And Breezy, big up, man. Last minute as well for jumping in. Love as always, brother. And Cal, I know you was rushing on from work as well. So big up, man. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up
as well for sorting out the show and getting the ball rolling.
Oh man, we got to keep it moving.
Big up to everyone in the chat as well. Apart from Coutinho lovers.
And Alex George.
So George, was you going to say? No, were you gonna say something, George?
No, he said and Alex George, the Arsenal fan.
Oh no, because I thought when you were like that, I thought
Oh
you
no,
wanted
no,
to say.
I was like going like good job.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna yeah.
I might take it back now. If you said
But no, love as always, people. Big up to everyone in the chat as always. Everyone who was here during the game. I know there was a game on as well, so as always, big up to everyone and all the super chats as well. Always appreciated. We'll be back tomorrow at 7. It should be 7. If things change, we'll let you know.
Earlier, we've got Brighton preview.
Oh yes, you're right. The Brighton preview during the day. People, stay locked, stay tuned for the Brighton preview during the game. Thanks for reminding me, Cal. And then obviously we're back with a call-in show in the evening where we're going to talk about 43.2 million profit already made just from winning the games we've won so far in the Champions League. The money is tallying up. And as always,
don't know what that is.
as always, make sure you smash the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Definitely get over and support the boys. George and Breezy will be in the description as well. Make sure you go and support them, guys. Show them your love, and get over there and do that and hit the like button on the way out, people. Until tomorrow, peace.